by design. That was just
It was
what
just
was
happened
left.
to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna start off with Mirage, which is a map that both these teams have played today already. One team more successful than another. Obviously, EnVyUs just beat Penta, I think, quite conveniently. Was it 16-8 eventually, or 16-9? Whereas Virtus.pro, they really struggled to get their game going on this map.
Yeah.
Surely a strong CT side, but follow up by a horrible T side. Only getting barely any round, I believe.
If they can find that strength in the mid that they did have during CT side, though, that's going to give them a huge advantage. And that's really what it kind of came down to as well with their T side. They just couldn't breach in. And they tried like different plays, but never really found an opening for it.
Sure. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Going to see a VP having somewhat of a better T sniper than what EnVyUs has as well, and that can change the balance of the game. Yeah, but in terms of predictions, I think the team that starts CT going to go out of top. I make it very easy for myself here, but 16-10 again to this team starting at CT.
You're so scared of making an actual call.
Yeah, but
We
the thing
both
is,
went
to be
Virtus
very
Pro.
honest here, is like when teams of this caliber meet each other, is very much of a coin toss.
Sure.
I
And
don't
don't tell my guys
that.
that, because sometimes I feel that myself. I'm trying to be like motivating them and giving the speech of a lifetime. But yeah, it's very close when two teams of this caliber clashes, especially online. I would say it's a bit more, not random.
For me,
but
I look at the map and go, I don't even think side's going to come into it. Because it's been very back and forward. As we're saying during our last map, it's very difficult to predict the current map for Mirage, because it just keeps going T
everywhere.
or it keeps going CT.
And it's
There's
knowing
no
the
one-side
teams
balance.
that are playing it. Obviously, EnVy
Yeah.
just had a great T side on it, which we just saw. I'm actually going to go out and just say that we actually went. Last time I went directly to VP. You said whoever won the knife, it was VP, and we were both wrong. I'm just going to go this time and say...
Wait, no, you can't take over my glory now, because if you go the other direction, then I'm screwed.
Oh, are you going EnVy then?
I'm going EnVy.
All right, I'll go against you. I'll say 16-13. I was going to say EnVy, just so everyone knows. I was going to say EnVy, but I'll say VP just to make you happy, Toby.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go a little bit heavier, though, and go 16-10 in favor of EnVy. I don't believe
So if they win the
Virtus.pro's
knife round, then you're both in the same, and then it's me, the odd man out this time.
No. I just don't believe Virtus.pro is going to be able to gain any solid momentum, but I believe they're still going to be able to find a couple of picks, find a couple of rounds. EnVyUs aren't infallible. They still got a couple of holes, and I think VP can punch through.
Yeah, what's going to be interesting to see whether Virtus.pro has learned some lessons from today's failure as T versus NIP on Mirage. They didn't really, I was saying, go back to basic A splits, maybe the early B pushes we have seen, accompanied with a flashbang over the wall. Stuff like that actually does work on a map like Mirage. But yeah, let's see, unless they do what they did against NIP, and that was just like, attacking a little bit everywhere at the same time and not having any harmony among each other.
Oh, well, before we go into the game, which I thought we're actually almost ready to go for, we've got a card question coming out from the Twitch chat from one of those wonderful people that is subscribed to the channel and is in the running for the knife later on. So your question is, for the next major, what would the guys like to see change in CS? Nerf to weapons, map changes, how much are you just going to say Scout and Tech 9 right now?
That's what I was just going to say. Tech 9, here we go.
Right, so my guys sat down with Valve over at Katowice, and without revealing everything that was talked about, was obviously the kind of problem you face when you're playing pistols. Let's phrase it that way. You see this, you're costing all the time, right? So you win the pistol round, you lose the next, and then you just buy again, and just goes on, right? So pistols are extremely powerful, and I know that a lot of pros wanna, nerf them. If that's probably Tech 9 is going to be nerfed. If that's going to happen, I'm not sure. But in regards of other weapons, jumping with scouts feels a bit overpowered every now and then, especially on a map like Mirage where you see it, you just jump on B and get the peak and eventually get a headshot. I think MBK got that a few times. He asked me about the map, or she asked me about the map, whoever it is. I'd like to see a few new maps thrown into the pool. I think the pool should be consisting of 7 maps, to not complicate it too much, but I think it should be fairly seasonal, which reminds me a bit of back in the days in StarCraft, where you had like kind of a not a spring split, but a spring season, summer season, you just kind of change the maps. This can be community generated, as in you put on the workshop, whatever, you can vote on the maps that's going to go in, put in some feedback from the pros as well, just to see some rotation, just to see some diversity. That would be what I have to say about that.
I actually love that you just brought up that point. made a comparison, again, to go Formula 1, but to give it another one, how there's so many tracks in the world, they could alternate each year and they'd still have sufficient racing and easier on promoters. I'd love to see CS go the same approach. I think there's a couple of maps that could come into it. I think Tucson or Mill, whichever version you wanted. The new Fire doesn't look too awful. They've fixed up the mid issues where that original fence was in 1.6 that slowed everything down. I think Bazar, which was in the Vanguard map pool, is actually reasonable and actually somewhat. I don't think it's perfect. I think it would have to be played. I think the choke points are narrow, but
Sure.
I think it's viable with some work. Crown's still in the works from Volcano, so there's lots of maps that have potential if they would just get the chance, and I'm fully for it. The hard part is there's a lot of people that don't like change.
Yeah, but as you said, Tuscan is a map I love to see in the pool, but if that's going to happen or not, let's wait and see. First and foremost, we have some knife battles here too.
Yeah, it looks like Virtus.pro is going to come out on top of this one, unless MBK is an absolute genius. But either way, well, maybe he is. Maybe he actually is. So EnVyUs will win the knife round as we get a 1v3, which means they'll stay over on CT side and force Virtus.pro to attempt these heavy pushes on the map. I can actually want to ask you one last thing, Khan, before we go off. Having the pistol rounds, having the pistol so strong, is it really that bad as far as the spectator side of things? Because
no, not at all.
At least from my perspective when I watch it, it's great to see a team that has the ability to come back when you feel like they should be down, and that in itself creates excitement.
I mean, bottom line, we are talking about the sports here, and it should never, ever be completely imbalanced. So if this is a side in Counter-Strike, as in like winning 15 rounds of CT, it wouldn't really work. And what people have to remember as well, I do agree with you, by the way. It's great to see, you know, rounds being traded, a lot of frustration. And furthermore, the game we're watching here, pro level, is actually very different to the game that's going on the matchmaking or the casual play. And
well,
that is
in matchmaking, you just run around with the Tech 9, you win rounds. That's
yeah, but it's also like a way for beginners to get excited about the game. They can pretty much kill their opponent at any point, more or less. Even if, surely if you're looking at the proportion between the kill ratio to the monetary investment, it's a bit off, you can say. But for the sake of the growth of the game, and in terms of like keeping the kind of grassroots excited about the game, I think it's wonderful. It's great for community.
And credit to Valve, actually, in the fact that Dota and CS are probably two of the only games, maybe League, I'm not as familiar with it, that are relatively unchanged at a competitive level to the public level. Coming from COD, you know it too. Pro Mod was a whole different beast than the original game.
It was
StarCraft is a whole different beast.
Pro Mod was as close to CS as you can get, and that's the reason why most of us in like the COD 4 scene, when it used to exist, that's the reason why we stuck with it. Either way, we can talk about this kind of stuff later. We're already into pistol round. Virtus.pro on the terrorist side, Team EnVyUs over on to the CT side. And a very quick push coming up through connector. We said that was going to be a big point, and Shox, he already has the Molotov as well. So getting locked down. I don't know what's happening with Bialy and why he's joking around as much as he is, but Virtus.pro, they managed to breach through. Shox and Happy, the two big killers for EnVyUs before, they're dropping down. It's looking like a flawless round, and including a B plant. Smiths will go down. A completely flawless round for Virtus.pro. The only person who managed to live was Taz on 1 HP. That was all.
So you guys both essentially now have decided that Envy is going to win it. No, you're still going 10. So
I'm still with
gone
EnVyUs.
with Envy. That's right.
Yeah.
Based on the
I was still saying Virtus.pro are gonna make halts, and EnVyUs, as we can see right there, like they were full of halts. They're basically Swiss cheese right now. But VP doing this again, that's gonna be where the challenge is. We got a lot of CZs already been purchased up. EnVyUs are gonna try and play these choke points really close. But Bialy helps with the opening frags at least. But then Kyo going huge. From the bottom of the stairs, he's wanting to jump out and battle up against him, and this was the problem which I thought Virtus.pro were going to hit. They basically run into their own wall, which is, in this case, EnVyUs.
And there we go. We just talked about this, that how you win a pistol and then you suddenly get it taken away from you, and no better team in the world. This is 2 in a row for them tonight that we've seen on this map. They get another eco. And now it's Virtus who has to recover from that. I mean, this is just so crucial, especially when you're starting out T-side. That was a great start for Virtus.pro, and it's completely taken back from them. MBK is going to go with this mag and get up close with it.
It's also the extra money they get, because you're getting a huge amount of flashes. In fact, if you look at the flashes, there's 8 flashes in there for EnVyUs. They got a couple of smokes, even got a molly to boot. And with that, Virtus.pro have a very difficult time breaching in. So even if they do, there's still a bit of a smoke, which they are. They're coming in towards the A side right now. Look for the mollies, look for the flashes. They're going to be completely blind entering the site, and that's going to give the space to Shox as well as Keo, just rip them apart. Neo's at least able to get some kind of revenge, and a flash from the T side working very nicely, but it's still not enough. 3 players from EnVyUs survive, and VP's push will fail. And Keo.
And they tried to force back into that
already.
round. They tried to force back into that round a little bit there. You saw that AK still being used there by Neo toward the end of it. That was actually acquired at the start of that, so they'll be right back to pistols. They've gone for 4... Pardon me, I'm just trying to see the overlay. Okay, so that is a Glock on the bottom for Pasha. It's 4, 5, 7s that are out. And now it's EnVyUs who get this 3-round spread. We saw what they can do CT side. They're known to be a CT-sided team, but in the last map we just saw, they obviously put up some great numbers on the offense as well. Shock's going to catch them, and they go try for that sneak play up the underpass to get up close with those pistols. Snacks eventually will drop Shox, but Smiths goes right back into him, so it's all on Bialy and Taz. They found a way into B, though, so now this bomb's going to go down. That'll give them some money to work with in the next round, but we'll see if they can go further than that even, as we see Bialy, P250, and a mag 7, but Happy's going to catch him, and Keo's going to come around. That takes down Taz, so they'll get the defuse, and they'll make it 3-0. We'll see guns again in the next round.
That was the exact same run the Virtus.pro did on the first round. Trying to breach up through the mid connector, make a big hole, but then having those CT players rotate back over to A to open up the slot over on B. That's why VP was still able to get the plant down, because EnVyUs started the rotation out of the site. Obviously, they were a little bit more successful in the earlier frags, but EnVyUs, they come back in, get the retake, and 3-1 now in their favor on CT side. And again, VP moves to the B. And Smiths. Okay, okay. Nice and aggressive. There's still 2 players there. He'll manage to pick up Pasha. And that'll leave a little bit more work for Shox to do from connector. He's getting some nice tags. He's also getting tagged up a little bit himself. But Taz is not a healthy man right now.
They've still got presence in mid. Shox is going to be on the top side of this connector. There's a gap in that smoke onto the jungle where Bialy placed that from the A ramp. So Shox will be able to see Neo when he does come up. And that's going to take him down.
Same time, Bialy trying to make a little bit more space. He can't make enough, though. Only bringing down one of these CT defenders on the A side. And the bomb is stuck inside a connector. In the hands there of Snacks. And he knows there's one in front of him. Takes out MBK. He needs his second shot, however. It's Keo who's the man battling from the site. He's about to get flanked. Goes back down into underpass.
And they know they've got B open at this point because Keo has already taken some shots in toward that connector. So Taz will hold on from the ladder room. The problem is that Keo has already gone behind him. He's inside checkers. And Snacks hasn't got to that site yet because he went the long way back. He couldn't get up to Catwalk. They know he's there. Keo's all very low HP, but so is Snacks. So they're going to have to be careful. Taz is even lower than both of them. All 3 of these guys together don't equal one full human being right now. And Taz luckily has the crossfire set up with his teammate. They'll get the kill. Snacks will get the extra 300. Oh, he won't. I take it back. The time just expired as he tried to place it down. So no bomb money for him.
Well, still a good read to move back over. Obviously getting scouted out with the player coming in through short. That was the intention of Virtus.pro. They wanted to know if there will be a CT coming back to defend it. They did, so then they just try and play the gun battle as opposed to play the bomb battle. So you have 2 rifles instead of the 1. Virtus.pro again, we're going to be looking at this. A little bit more of a pressure up mid, but Smith has the AWP up and running. Pasha again, it has not been his night. Time and time again, he's being picked off. And Smith's, you know he's got the control of mid, but he's moved himself out now. Holding from the connector instead. Taz is just so scared to move into mid. The smoke has covered up the window, but this is also the reason why you've got him in connector. They're going to move up. There's already that battle happening over a connector. Neo realized the flank will be coming, takes out Happy. There's still a 1-for-1 trade-off around here. And the bomb, a little bit indecisive. There's 3 players from EnVyUs already on the A side. Make that 2. With Neo able to get these shots off from over on short A.
They haven't committed to B yet, though, and Shox has already gone back out. I think Snacks might have spotted him as he was battling with Keo rotating out, so there's a chance that VP could work this back in toward the A site. In fact, they're going to do that now because Snacks has found out exactly where Keo was. This forces Shox out, so they'll spread the defense.
And with the same time, the push coming up from MBK. If he can bring down Taz nice and quick. Oh, he's trying to jump over the top.
All right, so now that, so I take it back. They're going to go back the other way. They'll catch Shoxy on the rotation. They knew exactly where he was, but That all came from Taz's kill. I thought for sure they would go to A quicker. Instead, they waited for the defense to reveal themselves, so good read.
EnVyUs is forced into not a full eco. We're still seeing buy-ups on pistols. Not seeing any armor and nades, however. But either way, 3 rounds apiece. Virtus.pro. Important they get the execution off on this. Not to slow down Envy, obviously, with the semi-eco. Like, they're still going to buy next round, but more importantly, maintaining their money advantage. That's the important thing for them. Looks like Taz is going to get the opening frag. A little bit of damage into Shocks, but can't get the kill. Looks like VP's going to bring the bomb back over to the A site.
Well, I didn't get any information toward mid. They did take Happy down to a little bit less health. He's on 38, but they'll set up for this A take. They've got 3 smokes to work with. They're actually going to try and push out with Snacks just going blind at entry. Taz already finds Shocks and Palace. That'll allow him to push up. And Snacks has already found his way into Tetris. Oh, and Keo a little bit too aggressive on the defense. So now they've got A to work with. They'll put a molly out just on the backside and actually choose to extinguish that to cover off jungle. And look at Snacks, very aggressive, already through the connector, covers off these rotators, and it's all left to Happy. And as I mentioned, he's only on 38. Pasha's back to find him already on the backside of the apartments as well.
Oh. And that'll be a nice clean round for Virtus.pro. Not a single AK being lost. We will have a buy round now from EnVyUs. But it was just nicely played. As you're saying, like, maybe a little bit too aggressive on the defense, trying to make a run for shade after Virtus.pro already started the push in. There's a little bit more of a suicide. But we do go 4-3 in favor of Virtus.pro on their T side. And this push is coming in again from them so quick, but Keo takes out 2 before he's dropped. Slowing down this pressure. Snacks is at least able to mop up Happy, who was trying to bring himself back up through the mid-connector and taking out Shocks to boot. So we're on a 2-on-3 situation. Smith's from inside the jungle. Needs to watch the connector, and then he opens up his teammate's path. The plant's already going down by Bialy. Not on the spot where Smith was spamming, however.
Smokes were shallow. They at least got in, but Smith's got up over top and got a bit of information on where they were playing it. He knows they were both back over toward the T side of the site. Bialy's sense changed that angle just a little bit, but they need to find a kill quickly to get through. Oh, they dink up Bialy, but he still gets the shot on Smith. He narrows his angle down, and that means NBK's forced to try and take them both on. Can't do it. And Virtus.pro now 5 rounds. Nice shots at mid. Snacks opening things off very well, and this connector kill is what really opened up the site for them.
Yeah, and it kind of really screwed as well with EnVyUs getting that rotation over, because they realized they couldn't just move up very quickly and through that mid connector. So it was a slow push in, and by that point, Virtus.pro able to get the plant down and getting the perfect split. It looks like Virtus.pro, aggressive push down mid, sending both Pasha as well as Snacks. Neo's the one who's carrying the bomb, however, moving a little bit closer up on the catwalk side.
Nice counter smoke this time out, but there's basically a 4-man stack over at A. Keo underneath the balcony. They're only running that.
There's no one to be.
Well, they're running that Happy inside the window, but yeah, look, they've read this out.
Yep. And this is going to be an easy B plant. They're moving in. They're throwing a couple of, well, I'm hearing a molly go. Oh, if MBK waited just a fraction of a second longer, he would have seen that movement going up through catwalk at EnVyUs. So on the other side of the map, and Virtus.pro now start making the big wall. Boost up, and Pasha just doing it from range with the AK.
Taz is also going to find Shocks. He's coming up right now to try and get inside apartments. Done, down and out.
Nicely read.
So they're picking them all off. Keo's still with this scout. Late manages to at least get 1 shot back in return, but good read by Virtus.pro to figure out that they basically used the defensive smoke on connector like they had not done, so they actually shied away from it and went directly into B wide open. They'll close out on all the rest. That's Keo to drop in the end, so the scout's not saved either.
And VP are looking good. Looking very good on this T side.
Double op setup now, though, for EnVyUs. This will be very interesting to see how it's going to play. I'm just going to look at spawns and see who's closest to the window. Smith's is actually reasonably far away from it, and he's already looking toward A, so I imagine, yeah, it's going to be Happy that's going to head toward the mid.
Which means you're looking for your all pickups, what, over on the B side as well as one over on the A?
Yeah, and actually Happy's not gone directly to the window. Smith's has gone to the connector to cover mid. Happy's gone on to catwalk. So they'll have 2 opposite mid from 2 off angles.
MBK doing the jump to look into apartments. The side one, difficult as hell to hit. The Virtus.pro Just the first smoke being thrown into A. They're trying to force a little bit more pressure here. One player from EnVyUs moving very far up the mid. That was Smiths having a bit of a peek. But it's underpass where 2 players now moving up from Virtus.pro. And Smiths, there's number 1. He sees number 2, but doesn't get the kill. Flashbang on the way in, so Smith's about to go blind. But he's got Crossfire to help him out, but maybe not anymore. Nero taking out Happy. Number 4 Happy was able to at least bring 1 along with him. And that being the poor man Pasha. And BK, again, there's tit-for-tat trade-offs. We are in a 2-on-3 situation, and Taz wanting to plant the bomb, the nade flying over to him. He's able to dodge it. Shock's not going to make this easy for him. Banging through the boxes. Taz comes out on top. 2-on-2, but Smith's with that orb. He's able to finally bring down Neo. And Keo will mop up Taz.
They won't be able to pick up that second op, though. So they'll only sustain one of them. They've got money. Just barely. Shox is fairly broke. To drop one out, there's an M4 drop.
VP's pretty damn loaded. So they're able to get 4 AKs as well as that orb.
They will have double op, though. They did actually get it. This time it's going to be Smith's going directly into the window. Happy's going to go all the way back through the catwalk, so they'll have double mid. But watch out. Pasha's already at the corner. Smith's hasn't peeked yet. Oh, but he still gets the kill. Pasha's already down. So there's your early advantage for EnVyUs. And we talked about how your T-side op for Virtus.pro. Pasha's the better of the 2, typically speaking. But that time, Smith's gets the better of him. So Keo's pushed up underneath A. They're going to have to compensate on Virtus.pro's side by finding a pick and response or at least exploiting something toward connector, but they can't do it. They did use smokes to get Snacks up a little bit further in mid, but he can't find the angle at all, and Shox hasn't been aggressive enough for him to give himself away. Bialy does find Keo. Happy responds immediately, though, so they've still got a man advantage, and Smith wants more, and he's going to get it. Bialy down.
And they now know down in the shade. Taz is going to get burnt. The last player. We're on board with him right now. Neo coming in towards that A stairwell. But he knows he's up against, well, maybe Shock should be moving into a position where he can get rid of that Famous and pick up the second AWP that's on the field. But Neo looking for the breach. Looks up, tagged from the side, and BK mops him up. Where's Shox? Did he get the weapon? He got an AK. He got an AK at least. But now it's Virtus.pro who are starting to find themselves a little bit short of money. They got at least this buy right now.
And fortunately, Neo was able to drop. He was at 73 at the start of the round, so he'll drop over for Snacks. But like you say, one more round, they're down and out, and they still have 1 op to deal with. It's going to be Smith's. He's already back in toward that window. No, pardon me, he's going to take a right. So Happy's going to drop to the underpath. Smith's will play a passive mid to compensate for that. NBK's trying to get information to see if they're inside the apartments. If Happy pushed through, he'd find a lot of Virtus.pro players just waiting.
But it's not the bomb carrier. Like, there's nades and flashes coming over towards A as though they were trying to go for it. But when a player also reveals himself down in the underpass, EnVyUs can be feeling that they're getting baited out at the moment. Because the smokes are perfect for A. They keep 3 players over there, and Happy's already making the rotation back over to B. But Virtus.pro will still have a lot of options. They can go up through connector and over towards the A side, but they're going to commit to B quite heavily. They bring down Happy, and then the rotation has to come from EnVyUs. Nice and quick. They've lost both their defenders on the B side. Bomb open for VP.
The question is now, how does EnVyUs approach this? They don't have a lot in their bank either, so they've got to be careful on their decisions, and they're going to have to be timely with them. They need to find picks in the next 5 to 6 seconds, otherwise it's not worth it.
You got one sitting on short, and they're backing up already.
Yeah.
They don't want to take the risk.
Shox just wants to get any damage he can do because he knows they're broke as well. Bialy's going to get him, and the other 2 have already evaded and gone back toward A. Smiths is going to find them on exit, though, because they're going to come directly toward him out of that door from Market. Smiths misses that first shot.
Gotta be careful not to lose that AWP of his.
He's not going to repeat.
But at the same time, Keo was able to get Snacks inside the mid, from the mid connector. So they did at least lose a couple of weapons, but there's enough money to buy. It just does keep VP's money as general just down a little bit. And with the open AK and a couple of pistols, a couple of early picks from EnVyUs could still find them winning this next round. But VP definitely have control. Smokes, nades, the whole shebang. And VP aren't even going to oblige him with a pick in mid. Smith is trying for it.
Shox is getting very aggressive on Ace. ramp right now. Taz is going to try and push up, but they've smoked him off. But they've actually caught out Shox. He did get the first kill.
They saw the bomb
with that CZ, and that's right, Pasha down, but they haven't really got enough to work with it. Happy's pushed up middle, though. He wants to try and divide. They're actually going to hunt this bomb. They might actually get Bialy trapped in spawn. Taz has to be aware. Taz has to have heard them. Bialy does get one. That's Happy down, but they're still pushed up on the A side.
Well, actually going up for the B side as well. MVK is the man who's having to defend from this one. He's got 2 on the high side, and that CZ is not enough to hold.
Oh, Taz is so close right now. He's got Smiths on the right side. Keo and Smiths are going to have to fall back into him eventually. He knows, yeah, he heard them go by when he was waiting in Palace behind that smoke, so he's just waiting for them to walk into him.
Where's that corner check? Where's that corner check?
Bomb has been planted.
Having a look. Does he look up? He found one. Last one, a little bit too high up. Smiths walking on the boardwalk. But it's still going to be another round going the way of Virtus.pro. So they get the advantage as far as T's with 8 rounds basically in the bag. He's just hoping for one extra frag. He's got nothing. In fact, he's got one player very, very close. He's coming in right now. And in fact, Neo got the shot on him. So they do even lose the AWP. It's in the hands of Neo.
And they'll throw that back over to Pasha. He's got a good spawn this time as well, so he can actually beat them in mid. Happy's the only one that's close, and they don't have enough money to go directly to an AWP on the CT side, so Happy's going to have to try and take this with a rifle, or he'll go to Cat. Let's see his decision. Yeah, he's going to go to Cat. He doesn't want to take this fight directly, so Pasha won't be able to find anyone directly on that peak, but they will be able to establish a bit of a presence. Smith's going to go to Connector. Try and hold them as they push up Cat. He's actually going to spot one. Easy kill. Nice play with the M4. Good use of his rifle. And being aware of the situation his team is in. Happy's now gotten to ladder, so they'll be able to hold off this corner, and VP's got to be very careful, but that fire takes down Happy. Shox isn't done. There's one more for him. Pasha eventually finds Smith. Shox, though, still alive, finally put down in the end, but NBK's come around the corner from B and recovers the positions that were given up from the drop players, so Snacks finds himself in a 1-on-2, and this is great. Change of position by excuse me, I was about to say LDLC, but EnVyUs to read that they didn't play with an AWP, and NBK gets the kill on the rotation back across. Well done by EnVyUs.
Snacks was not really expecting to come up from that point. But EnVyUs, 6 rounds to 8 as we go into our final round of this first half. Buy everything you've possibly got. We have no AWPs on the field whatsoever unless that's in Taz's hands right now. Ooh, yep, okay, yep, we're good. This is 4 AKs. 5 AKs. Count, Toby. Now, the bomb's coming over towards the B side. And looks like more a heavier commitment this time around too. Taz not looking to peek up through mid. But that bomb moving up from Neo. Starts spraying already from the apartments, but backs it up. They managed to secure underpass, at least the end of it, because there's no one at window. There is one person. It's Shox over at that mid connector. And Smith's watching from the short B.
Snacks has got himself nested into bottom of mid right now, and there's...
He's waiting for the rotation.
Yeah, exactly. There's 3 players that have gone to B side based on that early little bit of presence in toward the apartments. Meanwhile, VP's setting up for an A.
EnVyUs are feeling it. They smoke up on top of Palace. So there's no way for VP to get these early picks, but now come the smokes, and you're going to know it, smoking out the back of CT.
But Snacks is going to have free reign to walk back up unless Smith gets back to window. Nope. He does. He's already got him, but now if he takes Connector, this makes the push extremely easy for VP to come in from the front side of A. Shox is in the sandwich, but he's also got Happy. Shox is still there, though. That's Taz down. Bialy's going to find them both, and Snacks responds.
Really great
end
round.
of your first half. 9-6. VP take your T side.
I'm loving the way they were using the corners in that last round. VP, they're playing smart CS, which we didn't see from them earlier today. Khan, thoughts?
Well, a VP playing with a lot of confidence, and I think that's a direct result of EnVyUs perhaps not having as strong AWP as NIP had earlier. Ale going to the connector, coming from the house, I guess you call it CPL, and just shutting them down in middle. Now it was kind of the other way around. Even with AKs, even without even throwing fancy smoke grenades, just kind of slowly, not slowly but surely, but semi-fast, they pushed close to bomb spot A and did a lot of, I would say, random pushes where they attacked multiple bomb spots at the same time. And when you do so successfully, it often generates a CT team that is saving a lot of rifles. So we did have a lot of weapon rounds in this half. but not a lot of weapon rounds where EnVyUs was able to have 1 or 2 AWPs, and that ultimately just kept VP doing what they were doing successfully. That was taking the peaks, playing with confidence, and eventually find himself with 9 rounds. If I were EnVyUs, perhaps taking another eco would have helped, because then you can have Smith or perhaps even Shocks with the AWP, because MBK, I think he struggled a bit keeping them back from B. And Taz, he played phenomenally in terms of having a balance and map control. When they went B, he faked A in a very good manner. He even kept waiting for them there when the bomb was planted on the other spot and killed them when they tried to save. But overall, VP did a great job. They did indeed win the pistol round, but then as always in CSGO, they lost the next round, and they never really, EnVyUs never really, got into the game and built up an economy, and that allowed VP to get 9 rounds.
Well, we're about to go into our second half. Before we do, I know we've got it down on the screen right now. Make sure you subscribe to the Twitch channel for PGL, where the gut knife, the blue steel one, will be given away after our grand final, which is coming up directly after this best of 3 series. The winner of this series plays up against NIP. So keep yourself ready for that one, for the subscriber-only giveaway. I don't think we're actually fully ready just yet, as Khan thought he was going to get himself free of this one already.
We heard him take off the headset there. Jeez.
I'm back.
Failure.
So let's assume the pistol goes the way of Virtus.pro. Is there much of a chance at all for
EnVyUs will win the next round?
As we've seen,
They're pretty good
3 times tonight?
They kind of invented the second buy.
We can actually get back to my other question, which I wanted to ask you before we ended. Should there be a change to the org?
To the AUG.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Zoom CT rifle.
Well, yes.
Which is not used a lot.
No, it's not. It's probably the least used weapon.
You want to see it more viable?
Well, I'm just wondering. Like, you're always talking about having more diversity in the maps. Like, can we find more diversity inside the weapons?
I think there's somewhat of a leftover mindset from the pros, which ultimately influences the casuals to not even purchase it. So I'm sure there are actually moments where AUG or the counterpart
Scar.
Is it the Scar?
The
SG,
Scar,
I think it's called.
that's right, SG, yeah.
That can be used.
552 or something.
I think a lot of people are hesitant considering when you do the zoom with it, it has some kind of red dot, which is a fairly weird player experience.
Which it never used to have. Yeah,
Which
they actually added that after that initial buff, and then they went back to that with the nerf.
Yeah. So to more specifically answer your question, I actually think they could be viable. It's just a matter of testing them out and figure out in what situations they could be useful. Because I think in comparison to CS 1.6, I think the pricing level of them is actually fairly reasonable. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's even cheaper than the M4, if that's SG. So yeah, let's see what happens. Maybe this encourages some people to try it out. I hope so, because yeah, they are there for some reason, right? The Valve developers aren't silly. They know what they're doing. Throw in some more weapons. I don't know if we need that. We should use the weapons that are in the game already. I'm not sure about the machine guns, though. Maybe on Nuke, you just spam the wall. Like 1 minute,
Yeah, I'm actually glad
seconds.
Nuke's not paper thin like it used to be anymore.
No, it's not like that.
No, I don't think you got enough control over the machine gun to really use it in that situation, do you?
Well, you look at me. I don't play too much, so I cannot really answer that. But
I actually want to go back to a question regarding pistols. We were talking about nerfing pistols. Do you think, I'll say Tech 9, I think it needs to be nerfed, but do you think that the pistols themselves are the problem, or is it the movement mechanics with the pistols? Because I seem to think it's the ability to just nonstop keep running and still have a very...
So I'm going to use the word problem here, which I'm not sure, I mean, if you can add that word to the discussion. But yes, if you have a pistol, you buy it for $300 or $500, and you hit someone with helmet and he dies immediately. That, again, talking about the proportion of the power, the damage of the pistol, how easy it is to get kills from it compared to the price of the pistol. Yeah, sure, it does not make a lot of sense when you can pretty much in a straight up battle versus M4 kill that person with 1 bullet. Perhaps reducing the damage could be a key, but then we wouldn't be as excited about the anti-ecos and ecos. You win some, you lose some.
But yeah, but then when we said the start of it becomes so scattered with, first round win, they buy, get eco, they force buy, they win it, they go back to a save, then we go to a gun.
Solution.
It's a lot harder to follow.
Just don't buy after you win the pistol round.
Just stay pistols?
Well, if you're going to lose the round,
If you're
why waste the
EnVyUs,
money?
Maybe. If you're envious, maybe I could see that. So the reason we're waiting, by the way, guys, just so you guys know, we just have a
PC
restart. It looks like it is Neo that's the one that's not in the server. So we're just waiting for Neo to go ahead and okay. So I'm being told now it's a VAC bug.
I thought they said VAC ban for a
I
moment.
did too. I was like, what? Neo got VAC banned?
Neo, you owe me a lot of money now.
I didn't want to. I'm glad you repeated it because I didn't want to bring that up.
There is a question, though, while we're waiting, coming out from the Twitch chat. So, Kirush, I'm going to say his name is that. Why don't Fnatic players stream? Does streaming affect players' performance in the competitive scene?
I would say it does, because traditionally speaking at least, and also looking at the competitive scene right now, you don't stream practice games, and for obvious reasons. You don't want to reveal your strategies. You want to focus on pretty much what you get paid for and what you compete for, and that is to be prepared as possible when you go into a ESL 1 event or a DreamHack event or whatnot. But surely there is benefits of streaming as well, right? You know, connecting with your fan base, growing the community, educational. He's very good at that, obviously. So I think down the road, now when we have established some kind of stability, we're going to see more Fnatic players streaming. But with that said, it has kind of intentionally been not so much of a focus from us lately, because we have so many tournaments to play, and we feel that winning is pretty much everything at this point. But yeah, sure, you people out there will see more Fnatic stream for sure. When that is another question. There's so many tournaments to play. Coming up now, early next week, you're going to play in this very tournament, actually, in the Group E.
Yep. It's going to be a fun group.
Yeah, I think,
especially with the Na'Vi roster change.
I think this group's actually the more interesting one, because if you look at everyone in the pool, sure, we've got 6 invited teams. 3 of these guys out of 4 could easily have made the finals. I mean, Penta, who knows? Maybe they could have surprised. Obviously, they didn't come through tonight, but you look at it, VP could easily make it. They're not so much an online team. That might give them a bit of a disadvantage. NIP, you would expect to be there. EnVyUs, you would expect to be there. Fnatic, you'd expect to be there. Na'Vi hasn't done enough for me to say that they really have a case. Flip side,
I believe in Markelov, man. I believe in Markelov.
Yeah, TSM online. Yeah, I could see TSM making it through. So I mean, to me, this group's the harder group.
Group A, you mean?
Yeah, the group room right now, the red group.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the recent stats from ESL 1, we have 3 out of 4 top 4 teams in Group A. Whereas, you can still argue and say TSM is a very strong team, Fnatic, of course. Na'Vi, we do not really know what to expect from them now when they have a new player, or one new player.
Yeah, that's right. Starix is out. That's right.
Yeah, and flip side, you probably followed them closer than I did. Qualifying for their spot, right, in Group B.
Yep.
But yeah, prediction would obviously be Fnatic and TSM.
I'm really not sure about this next question. Did you really tweet Sadikist? Sadikist at Twitter has asked for Khan the real serious question.
I didn't tweet this. I'm going to go.
Who does your hair? Does your dad have control of your Twitter now?
No, my dad only has control of my Twitch. Oh, this came from Nick. I think this is a German last name.
Oh, someone tweeted at you.
So I don't get it. Is the question to me, or I see your name here on the screen?
For Karen. Can you answer?
Who does my? I can. It's you're talking about cutting my hair. Where did I cut my hair?
Random hair.
Yeah, I did it in Asia when I was there like 2 weeks ago. I just asked the dude. That sounded a bit weird, by the way. But yeah, he just went into a hair salon and he cut my hair. In terms of putting hair gel or whatever, I do it myself. Who doesn't?
I don't. I admit.
You don't put your hair gel.
Oh, I style my. Okay.
I was like, do you have a personal assistant traveling with you all the time?
It's for Sadokist, says Diana. Okay, so it's Ange and Sal's. They've been cutting my hair since I was probably this tall.
I'm just happy I still have hair. I'm 29. I'm pushing 30. You know. And
you got a great head of hair.
Good hair day.
Out of interest, when do you turn 30?
I turned 30 in actually in 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Not far away.
So it's a milestone.
And I guess I can say you are older than I am.
Damn it.
I turned 30 in July.
Okay, so class of 85 at least.
Yeah, of course. Well,
good stuff.
Oh, born 85. It would be class of 2002.
I'll just to clarify, I will tweet back at you who does my hair. As long as they have a Twitter, I'm going to find it, and then you can...
Really?
Sure.
If they go in there and give the name of Sadikist over, will they be able to get themselves a cheaper haircut?
They'll get to talk to an awesome Italian about soccer the whole time and get an awesome haircut. Probably have some wine while you're at it.
They
wine
serve
and
you
haircut.
Yeah, they
wine
do.
while
Yeah,
you're
they
having a
serve-
haircut?
Yeah, they have that in London. They have like you go for a haircut and you get a beer. I love that.
Yeah, it's great.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
relaxing.
I wonder
God,
if that
Germany,
even
they
would
just
be
all
They get you
legal
kind of
in-
drunk, so if they mess up, you don't notice. It's perfect.
In Germany, all they offer you is like a cheap cup of coffee. It's
and a doner,
most of the
doner
time,
kebab.
no, they don't give you a doner kebab. That's cheap enough as it is outside, but they do live off that.
They do indeed.
Wow.
Interesting conversation though. We're talking about maps. We're talking about
Hey,
Navi. We're talking about haircuts.
Sometimes you gotta chill it out, man.
I love
You
it.
gotta chill it out.
Neo has rejoined the server, so they're just
Welcome
asking
back.
right now
So
if
it was
they're ready.
not a vac ban.
Taz says, can we dance? So we're just waiting for Envy to respond, and we'll get back into it and get underway. So 9-6 is where we finished off for the T-sided VP. Karn, what does Envy have to change up? They had a great T-side in the last map, actually, against Penta, but now they're up against Virtus.pro, who are more sufficient on this map.
What they have to change going into T-side here versus Virtus.pro, they need to be more cautious when they initiate, because they pretty much 15 seconds in the round, they were already in A, basically, against Penta. That worked against them. I don't think it's going to work against a Pasha that is kind of notorious for playing aggressive with his sniper.
Do we think Pasha's going to get anywhere? Look at his score right now. He was always getting snapped back through his entire T-half. I don't think the mojo is with him today.
Maybe he had a bad drink the past 24 hours.
Yeah. Did you not see this?
No,
Go
they
on
did not.
Reddit.
I must have missed it.
Yeah.
I've
Go on Reddit.
been watching a lot of the stuff from Reddit of late.
Well, long
Yeah.
story short, I think some guy gave him like a customized energy drink or in
And it had
Katowice.
Team Biceps on it. And
Yeah,
he
with-
poured it into a glass.
Did
had
he
like a
actually
worm.
drink?
No, he was
Well, he
smart
opened it
enough
up on
to
the
pour it in
live stream. It was
glass.
like a larva within
Yeah,
in
he
the
was. It
container.
was very smart on his part to pour it into a glass. Let's
What?
just say that.
Yeah, accepting
Illuminati
drinks from a
confirmed.
stranger.
I don't blame
It's like, what are you going to do? Like, oh, I know I can manipulate the bets this time around because I managed to slip, like, Pasha
Yeah,
or
I'll just kill
Roofie
Pasha
inside,
and everything will be
inside of his
fine.
damn drink.
The issue was that he gave it to more people than just
Dude,
Pasha. So
I
how
don't-
many
I don't
people
think-
actually drank it?
I don't think you can actually kill Pasha because Pasha would find the virus, whatever they've given him. He'll beat the shit out of it
Oh,
and
his
then throw it back
biceps
up
have
again.
biceps within their biceps. So
Yeah.
yeah, they'll just kill the larva when it gets in there. Like the guy actually responded and said, "I bought this from a company online. This isn't my fault."
Really?
So yeah,
Really?
Which is probably true.
I-
I think
I
you
don't-
actually
how
have
do-
these
how does he
websites.
seal a can
I'm
himself?
sorry. That's like saying, oh, my brother was playing on my CSGO account and got me back
My
banned.
dad was on my Twitch
That's what
account.
Neo is tweeting about now. now.
I mean, it's to be fair, like I don't know how to seal a can. He obviously had to purchase it from someone, and I doubt someone online has a website that says drinks to kill people. Purchase here.
Maybe he had a
So-
short. I was about to say it has a short expiry date, but how does the larva get in there? That's
He said
Yeah.
it was
something
late
for the
2015
biologist
for
out there to
expiry.
answer.
Was it going to be like a version of tequila gone wrong?
I don't know.
There's no such thing as tequila gone wrong. It always goes right.
Oh, I have a few stories from the life on the road. One time Forest. No, I'm kidding.
But continue, please.
No.
Seriously, those NIP
What happened
guys,
on the tour stays on the tour. I'm saving it for the auto.
Have you done a Get Right
biography.
challenge?
What is that?
Have you done the Get Right challenge?
I don't know.
So I was actually talking about tequila. We're way off topic here, but we're going to continue because this is great. So I was at ESCA LAN in June, and I was talking about tequila, and Get Right looked at me and said, "Oh, I hate tequila." And I said, "All right, you do it tequila tonight." I said, "I'm going to make you." He said, "All right, I'll do it tequila," and he totally played off the like bad English thing on me. He goes, "I'll do it tequila if you do a Get Right challenge." And I was like, "Okay, what's that?" He goes, 2 vodka Red Bull, 2 shot. I was like, all right, double vodka Red Bull. He doesn't know how to say it. That's fine. So I get him his tequila. He takes a shot of it. All of a sudden, 2 double vodka Red Bulls and 2 shots show up in front of me.
That does sound very Scandinavian.
And he goes, you have 20 seconds. And I had to drink all 4 in 20 seconds. There's actually a shoutcasted video of it somewhere, but that's never going to see the light of day. So, yeah.
Thank God.
Get Right challenge. Apparently, I'm not the only one that's been suckered into it.
Well,
My night didn't go that well.
Let's see when I get challenged, but
the
I'm up
next
for it.
drink he bought me, he told me I was too drunk to drink, just poured it on my head. So it was a good night.
douchebag confirmed.
I was actually considering telling my NIP story from Star Ladder, but I just realized too that's probably not going to be massively appropriate for a professional studio like this. But
Don't look at me.
It definitely involves a heavy amount of drinking, and the challenge actually came from the manager of NIP. And presumably it's meant to be a Swedish thing. When you get massively drunk, you are held up by only one part of your anatomy.
Yeah?
I don't want to know what part that is.
You don't want to
So
know
we
what
actually
part
have
that
our
is.
countdown. We are going to be going live. We'll get right
Fantastic.
back into it.
Yeah, no more land stories.
Okay. Great conversation, guys.
Yeah, let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, maybe off stream next time. We'll see how that goes. So we'll get back into it right away. And like we say, it's actually going to be Envy who has to respond a little bit quicker and get this pistol underway because they are on the T side. So it's going to be a harder start for them.
We do actually have a pause after we restarted. So
but they immediately unpaused it again. So I think that was a mistype by someone in console who probably had it already pre-bound.
Okay, well, fantastic. Underway. Let's get itself rolling. EnVyUs. Oh, they are going to be nice and quick over towards the A side as the VP's defense comes a little bit slower over there, but it is going to be A where EnVyUs want to breach. And I like the way VP are doing this. Pasha and Taz and Neo, it's a perfect choke point over on the connector, but that means that A is completely open, and already Shox moves up. He gets the kill on Taz. No casualties of war at the moment. And in fact, they already brought a very early Tech 9 over at MBK, and he's keeping Bialy down the bottom of the CTs. In fact, he's just chasing like a madman into CT spawn. Kills off Bialy, looking to keep the cross going. But after they've taken the CT stairs as well as jungle, the CTs will be coming back in again. But the bomb is still ticking. And they're split up at the moment. The run in, waited out, defense. Happy sacrificing MBK. Pick up the Tech 9. He's not going to do it. But the first round goes the way of EnVyUs.
And they needed that. That's exactly what I was talking about. Now they've got a chance to tie this at least back up. And this is the team that normally wins the round after they lose the pistol round. So now hopefully things can normalize.
You hope.
Well, Neo's going to go for the scout. We'll see if they can make a play with it.
Look. They do it. They did get the scout. Okay. Yeah.
And
I thought for a moment they were going to do what we're talking about before, and they just don't buy weapons.
They've gone for 2 SMGs for some quick performance here, some quick play into one of the sites. They're setting up for A, but Happy's saved out for a pistol. He's the one scouting mid. Look for him to go for his op early on. But yeah, you're right. They've already stacked on B, so it's only going to be Taz. He gets one on the way in, but now they can rush the site and get this bomb plant down. Pasha's going to be the first to get there from window. Happy's going to hear him already.
The smoke is blocking off at least the CT spawn access. The spray coming into the jungle side, so VP going to have a very hard retake. Bialy, Deagle, working beautifully up against Smiths. Already gets one. And Happy also waiting. What is this? Pasha didn't look. He didn't look right. He looked left, but not right. Trouble when crossing streets. Snacks. He opens up a lot of space over on jungle side, but with Shox with the AK, he can't hold it. They actually get the retake. I thought you said they meant to win this round. I trusted you, Sadicus.
I thought so too. So we're going to see an eco this time equal the task. Virtus.pro is going to grab it. These shots from Bialy on the way around. There's your Deeg. Smith's down and out. Still a bomb plant out. Still money. Well, reasonable. There's 45 for Happy. They won't actually force into this. They'll have to actually fully save it. I'll go for Tech 9s instead. They've got head armor to work with it. 3 rifles out, one of which is the AK they grabbed. Neo's going to hold on to that.
It's a quick B. They are moving very quickly.
They've already got Neo and Snacks over in that direction. Pasha's in the window. He'll be quick to get around. Happy's the only one that's in mid.
He's the only one with the AK. That's the reason why. Flashes, smokes, the nade, tagging up MPK pretty heavily. And Snacks able to back up to the side, taking one, looking for the second. He's only got 3 more bullets in that clip, but it's enough to get one more. And there's only one player left alive. Shox with 18 life. Gets the headshot over to Neo, looking for the next one, but cannot wrap it up.
Neo's kill on Cat in reverse onto Happy as he came around with that AK was single-handedly what saved them that round. When Happy found the kill at Taz in the connector, it looked like he might have been able to flank into the site, and that would have got them the bomb plant, but Neo was completely aware. And if not for that, that might have been another eco in return. So now it's Virtus on 11 rounds. Now they've got some momentum to build up, but this time it's going to be even more of a save. They don't even have that AK to work with on EnVyUs side.
No, it really is just the bare naked EnVyUs lineup running to the B side. They're going to come through underpass Taz, out of find 2, looking for the third, running out of bullets in the clip, and also life. Bialy is going to find Happy. And that means our last player left alive, Shox, who's stuck up behind the crates on top mid. Pasha wants to try and flame him out of here, and he'll be successful. Gets the kill. And 12-7, VP. Not a fully clean round. They did end up losing Taz. But it's still damn good. They're 12-7 right now on the CT side. Looking very strong on map 1.
Of course, map 1 is the key. We've still got a best of 3 ahead of us, so this is the start Virtus needed. We talked about how they've been slow over the last 2 days. It's been shaking off all the cobwebs after ESL. They're just mentally burnt out. Look at this push up mid, though. They're stuck against the wall. That one smoke covers them off, though. Taz gets one kill out of it. Neo gets another, but Kyo's past it. He's beyond the smoke, and that gives him a chance to fire away and catch out 2 players who didn't quite expect him to be at that angle, and now A's wide open. Happy takes down Neo as well.
Snacks is at least managing to make the odds a little bit better in his favor. It was a 1v3, now 1v2. So bring that bomb up towards the A site. The flashes are flying, and Kyo is on his way in. It's a long, long rotation in for Snacks. He has the M4, turned away at the wrong time. He checked. He tried to be a little bit more cautious and check the corner. Lost his life because of it. And VP now 12-8. EnVyUs scraping the bottom of the barrel of the money to try and find something. They'll find 3 AKs. But not much more than that. It's soon going to be that point when VP... Are we actually on a... Alright, so they do have the scout, but we're not at AWP stage just yet.
No, not yet, but Neo will use that to his advantage. He's actually going to head over toward B, so look for him to do what Karn was saying, that very powerful spot where he'll jump check it. I don't think Snacks realized he was going to go there, though, because he left the catwalk wide open, and they've smoked it off to the corner before he could get there. I think he was expecting Neo to go there. That's his default spot, so they switched it up on a late call. They also don't have window. They're playing it from inside the connector. Kyo's going to find another one. Good entry for him, and he turns around. Can he find more?
No.
He will, over the top of the wall.
Oh, yeah.
That's Snacks down.
That means the only one left, Neo, the final man on the board. And the bomb, it is currently being dropped at the bottom of the ladder, but it's not going to matter. Neo gets picked out at window. And EnVyUs able to get themselves finally around on that board. And make Virtus.pro very, very lean on their money now.
That was a miscommunication big time from Virtus.pro to start that round off. Had Snacks gone directly to catwalk to counter out that smoke that originally came out, he would have been able to support the players that were stuck inside connector from the backside. Instead, they got taken down. A was cracked open, so need to be a little bit more clear with each other when they leave spawn. They're going to go for a 3 directly in A this time. Neo's going to be home alone at B, but EnVyUs is splitting the map right now. Happy's going to look toward B to try and open that up. Shox is coming up through underpass, and the rest are spread out accordingly. It's actually going to be a nade from Shox to catch out Pasha, and MBK just before that found one.
Picks.
Happy gets 2. Neo's dropping as well.
Virtus.pro just keep peeking and just keep losing some heads. Snacks now coming up, trying to battle up against MBK, who turns around and takes out Snacks himself. Bialy, the last man left alive, and MBK can give himself a triple kill. And they even got the plant down too. Virtus.pro. Weird round 2 rounds ago, and now they pay the price in our previous round. They do have money. They can buy up. But it's still a very risky situation for them. EnVyUs is starting to get a little bit of momentum behind themselves. Look how much VP is stacking this A site. Unfortunately for them, because they're doing this, like Taz is, again, very aggressively pushed up towards the stairwell. But the mid has been completely given over to EnVyUs. And this could be scouted out by the one guy who's up in Palace. Maybe also the AK spray coming in towards the mid is another big indicator. Neo opens up the account. MBK dropping.
That was a good pickup, but the problem is that he's backed off all the way back into B. Pasha's trying to play that connector, but he's going to have to do it alone because the A players are pushed up well and truly outside the site. Finally, they come back to support him. Shox is already up out of the stairwell, though, but taken down in jungle. Good play by Bialy.
Yeah, VP are finally getting these connections off, and Kyo, he's trying to turn around, looking towards the stairs. Man to pick up a second kill, then over towards the jungle, and he can't do it. He still had another man to get through, which was Snacks, who's coming in from that short B. As we go 13-10 on the board. Kind of a weird play. Like, Virtus.pro, they pushed 2 players up so far. As you said, like, Pasha was the only man holding the connector, waiting for them to come back.
Well, it was interesting
because
not only that, they wanted to get the information today. They wanted to see if they were funneling the offense out toward B. I think they assumed they were B because Neo backed off based on that cat presence. The problem was Pasha was alone to hold middle. Neo was gone. His 2 players in A weren't there to support, even from the backside over by the stairs. And that was a risky play. Luckily, they got away with it. They're going to go back for this mid presence again, and Pasha's in toward the window. Taz is pushed up. The alley this time at least has some vision of the top connector. Actually, and Snacks and Neo have come out a little bit more aggressively on Cat. They're going to go for this boost as well, so this will give them a good vision toward that spot. But it's actually NBK who finds them doing it.
Yeah, but Neo is still the second man. They realize the boost happened, which means there has to be a second man there. I guess the kill. Pasha going to play big right now up against Shox, able to do so. And that means he gets the vision over into Catwalk. Taking the second kill. Look up. Still keep looking up. To your right, Pasha. MVK, he hears him walking. And Pasha, he's letting him go until just a little bit further away. So now it's only 2 players left for the T's. Happy as well as MBK. Make that 1. The 3 life point. HB. MBK.
I like how you sheepishly went back. Sorry.
It's just...
I'll say it fine.
It's a bad habit.
HP.
It's a bad habit. Casters always get bad habits. Those stupid keywords which you cannot stop saying. Don't worry. They're all playing with wonderful amounts of gold here from Dire and Radiant. So,
so MBK is going to try and wait out this round.
Oops. I'll jump to our backup observer.
And he does so successfully, as it turns out. Does save that 1 gun. That gives him a bit more of a chance, but there's 14 rounds now for Virtus.pro on the CT side. And look how broke the T's are. They need to win right now, or it's going to be playing for the GG with only pistols. That said, though, Virtus.pro's barely broke themselves. They've bought down below the 4-digit mark on every player except for Neo, in fact, who's the one who saved that AK from the last round.
So that's the question. Have we even seen a single AWP in this game so far? In this
Not
half?
in this half, no.
So no one's either been able to afford it, or they just don't want to try and run the risk or do the shots. Pasha, he starts it off, and Taz, again, this is like the 4th or 5th time we've seen him aggressively push up with the rifles. And EnVyUs is running into a horrible, horrible wall. This looks like it's going to be the 15th round. Pasha comes in for the glory on MBK in the mid. And that's 15-10 going the way of VP, but there's still 1 more round to wrap this one up. If they can get it, of course.
Well, and like I said, the money for the T side is not at all favorable. It's only 3 rounds in a row, so they don't even get much of a bonus for it. They'll get 2 AKs out. They'll go for 2 Tech 9s and a CZ75 for Happy.
I love a little boosties. Keo.
But they're going to rush it toward B. Snacks is going to be back playing that default a little bit further to the backside. Neo's the one back on Cat this time. And they know they're there. Look at Pasha already on the rotation, and they're just waiting for them to drop in. Pasha's going to spot them too. Easy kill. 1, 2. He mops them up. That fire's still doing damage. That nade going to take down Keo. Actually, it doesn't. My mistake. He gets taken down by Bialy in the end. But there's Pasha. Final kill. So 16-10 for Virtus.pro.
And the way EnVyUs ran in, they committed so hard to that. They ran through the fire. They went through the Molotov. And then there was the perfect spam coming from the M4. You couldn't get any further. Nades, 2 of them flying into the truck. That was a good, clean end.
And it was a great rotation, great call that they were coming that way. So Pasha was there quick enough, and we saw what he did.
It's kind of the desperate move you tend to do at the very last round. Okay, buckle up with the armor, a few grenades, and the CZ or Tech 9, and just kind of rush B. Didn't work this time around. It rarely does, even though it's probably the best chance you get at that very point against a very strong Virtus team. Some conclusions. I think EnVyUs just kind of replicated or mirrored whatever they did successfully against Penta. Might work against Penta, but not a team like Virtus.pro with so much experience, a world-class team. So what do you tend to do when you know that your opponent's going to attack within between 110 and 115? Yeah, you either have snipers lined up ready, just taking the peaks. VP couldn't afford us this time around because I think Happy played the money system quite alright. He knew when to buy and not buy, but you use your grenades, and that's something that VP did successfully. Also, obviously, winning a few key rounds was 2 versus 2s, 3 versus 3s. Not amazed by how EnVyUs played it. I think they should have more stuff in their arsenal eventually. You know, not only relying on early pushes with AKs. Mirage is a map that you can actually play fairly slowly in a successful manner. A few fakes mid to late game, and then attack the next bomb spot, because kind of similar to Inferno, it's quite of a far distance between the 2 bomb spots.
It is. The one thing that I will say is that I've always enjoyed about it. It is far, but CT spawn's a fairly free rotation. Usually you're not going to get divided there by the lurk player. So you're still going to get the players in, but like you say, it's late. They've already got the bomb site secured and smoked off. So we talked about it. Mirage was Virtus.pro's best map. We thought it would be their best chance. They've got it. They've now got to move forward. We still got 2 maps potentially left.
That we do. What is our second map? Do you remember?
Inferno.
Inferno. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that one. I don't know if we're actually ready to go to a break or not, because we will have ourselves a bit of a short time. While we go to that break, do take the chance to subscribe to the Twitch channel. $50 from every single subscription goes directly to the prize pool, which means it goes to support the players, which you guys are watching right now. And of course, you can win yourself some cool rest. We will be giving out that knife at the end of the evening. So stay tuned, and we'll be back.
They obviously put up some great numbers on the offense as well. Shock's going to catch them, and they go try for that sneak play up the underpass to get up close with those pistols. Snacks eventually will drop Shocks, but Smiths goes right back into him, so it's all up.
And this push is coming in again from them so quick, but Keo takes out 2 before he's dropped. Slowing down this pressure. Snacks is at least able to mop up. Happy, who was trying to bring himself back up through the mid-connector and taking out Shocks to boot. Out the back of CT.
But Snacks is going to have free reign to walk back up unless Smiths gets back the window. Nope. He does. He's already got him. But now if he takes connector, this makes the push extremely easy for VP to come in from the front side of A. Shocks is in the sandwich, but he's also got Happy. Shocks is still there, though. That's Taz down. Viali's going to find them both, and Snacks responds.
Really great
end
round.
of your first half.
Heavily, and Snacks able to back up to the side, taking 1, looking for the second. He's only got 3 more bullets in that clip, but it's enough to get 1 more. And there's only 1 player left alive. Shocks with 18 life. Gets the headshot over to Neo, looking for the next one, but cannot wrap it up.
Neo's kill on Cat in reverse boost as well, so this will give them a good vision toward that spot. But it's actually NBK who finds them doing it.
Yeah, but Neo is still the second man. They realize the boost happened, which means there has to be a second man there. He gets the kill. Pasha going to play big right now up against Shocks, able to do so. And that means he